What's going on, everybody? It's the NBA Guru Show. Emergency pod. Emergency pod. It's going to be crazy. Kings hired Scott Perry in less than 12 hours. You didn't believe it. It happened. You just don't know what happens with the Sacramento Kings. They're not very good team, but they keep you on your toes, right? They give you a good sweat. On one of the ugliest, most embarrassing nights in Kings history, it was another exciting night tonight where we will be talking about what happened with the hiring. Scott Perry, we'll go deep dive in him, tell us, tell everyone about what he is and what he's about, and it'll be a good time with everyone here. How you doing, Naf? What are you feeling tonight?
Yeah, no, I'm surprised at how quick they hired Scott Perry and how quickly they fired Monty McNair. So, we'll get more into it, but this is definitely something that looks like it's been in the works for a while now. Personally, I don't understand why they didn't just do what the Denver Nuggets did and just fire them a couple weeks ago. And what's the point of waiting until the end of the season? They clearly had Scott Perry ready
Lined
to
up.
go, ready to go at ASAP. So they're not even going to go through the interview process, and I don't understand the timing of it. I'm not a big fan of the hire, like I think most people are, or at least they're willing to tolerate it. I just think it's a terrible hire, to be honest. So,
Whoa,
yeah,
terrible hire.
I could get more of my thoughts on it, but I don't think Scott Perry's is a terrible GM, but I just think that this is another puppet that Vivek is implementing, to be honest.
No, for sure. I agree there. Shout out to everybody here. We got Sutton in the building. Flores is in the building. Trying to brush the situation. What's going on, big guys? I love it. Love everyone here. Uh, it look, yeah, the process was ugly. I don't know how they did it. I don't know if they talked to anybody else. It doesn't look like it. They had him lined up from the beginning. Vlade's friends with him. Um, just not the best way to really go around finding the next GM, which is maybe probably the most important position in the front office or like in the whole organization. Like
Yeah,
I think it's more
exactly.
important than like the coach and everything. This guy is setting
No,
up all the
GM is
players
the
on your
most
team.
important. Whoever's
Yeah.
making the decisions is by far the personnel decisions is the most important, especially in basketball where coaching's important in basketball, but like if you don't have the players, you're never going to be able to win. It all starts with the players. Doesn't matter how
Um
good your coach is.
yeah, the GM is the most important. It's not close. Um but yeah, just the process. I mean, doing it this quickly. I mean, I'd like to see a search. I'd like to see interviews. I'd like to see what's out there. I heard the Kings were interested in Calvin Booth and Joe Dumars. I guess that was just that was the only taste and stuff they had of what's out there,
Smoke
and
screen, man.
yeah. So it's uh, it's just ugly, ugly stuff, and it hasn't even been 12 hours since one of the ugliest games I've ever seen the Kings play in a big game. Um, appreciate PK's in the house. Cody's in the house. PK's having a soup off. I don't know what that means other than he's just having soup with a bunch of people and seeing whose soup is better. I guess the weather is good for that today before the summer comes in. But we're going to do a deep dive in Scott Perry and what he's all about and what he did with the New York Knicks because that was pretty much his last show. But yeah, excited to talk about this and it'll be good for the fans to know what he's all about because he's had some good plays. He's got some good plays, and he's also had some bad plays. So I think we should just get into it, man. I mean, we'll talk Scott Perry, and then at the end we'll talk a little Doug Christie. How about that?
Sounds good. Sounds good.
All right. Well, New York Knicks traded on July 14th, 2017. I guess we should start with what he did in Sacramento
Yeah, he was in Sacramento for a couple
for
months in
3 months.
2017, right?
Yeah, 3 months. Kings drafted Fox. They wanted to give some help to Vlade, um,
He was
and
sort
they
of like
said,
an assistant GM to Vlade that time.
yeah. So I think it was what I'm guessing. I think it's Aprilish or Mayish, and July 14th was the last day of Scott Perry. So, um, yeah. So he was there for 3 months. The main stuff. I mean, they drafted Fox and they signed George Hill. Like they have like a really young team. They just drafted Fox. A lot of young players on that Sacramento Kings 2017 team, and all of a sudden they signed George Hill, they get Vince Carter, and they get Zach Randolph. Um, was that the right moves, man? Is that the right moves to go
In
with the young?
2017, no, those are the right moves in like 2002, man, or like when they're all in their prime. But no, not those. I mean, clearly, I think if you look at Scott Perry's moves, he has that sort of. He does sort of lean towards the vets. So
Mhm.
he does seem like he's that type of GM where he leans strongly on the vets, especially. I mean, 2017, these guys were all, I think, pretty much maybe besides George Hill, pretty
Yeah.
much washed to be. I think so. Yeah, not the best start.
Yeah, that's a good point. I mean, the Kings drafted Justin Jackson. They had Willie Cauley-Stein. Bogdanovich was going to have his first year. Frank Mason the third. Everyone loves Papagiannis, one of the worst draft picks of all time. And they had Buddy Hield as well from the DeMarcus Cousins trade. So they signed. It was weird. They did those transactions. Not the greatest moves by him. But the one thing they always talk about him is he's big in culture. He wanted to make sure that the culture was good. I mean, we just got rid of DeMarcus Cousins. He wanted kind of to get a stable franchise. So that's why he got those, George Hill, Zach Randolph, Vince Carter to kind of get some stability in there, which made sense because we've had Cousins and Reek, and we've had just it made sense a little bit. I can understand that perspective, but um, you still want to go for younger. You don't have to get three of those guys. You don't have to get uh, Vince, Zach, and George Hill. I mean, I think George Hill was gone midway through the season.
Yeah, I didn't
um,
even last the whole season.
so yeah, so we'll see. But yeah, that wasn't a great 3 month stint by Scott Perry and Vlade. I'll say that we can both agree on that. And then he gets a job in New York. That was his favorite. That was his dream job. And they said, let's do it. And he had to leave. Kings understood. They got a second round pick for him. I've never seen a GM get traded.
Yeah, that's a surprise. A
That's
GM
it's a
traded for a
rare.
draft pick.
Yeah. So I guess,
And the
you
draft
know,
pick was, I mean, obviously the draft pick was, I think, Ignas Brazdeikis, who just ended up obviously pretty
yeah.
much being nothing, which is what happens with a lot of second round picks.
Yeah. So, yeah, I mean, that was what happened. And now he's on the Knicks, and we'll see how he does. But just weird. I mean, I guess he was pretty coveted by the Knicks to do that. And this is during the James Dolan tenure where things are pretty bumpy. So
Yeah.
it's again the culture stuff, like, right, like he wanted to kind of make the culture more stable and stuff. So
Yeah, I mean, so he started with the Knicks 2017. So his 6 years with the Knicks. First year, Knicks went 29-53. Second year, they went 17-65. Third year, they went 21-45. And then in 2020, 2021, the shortened NBA season, they went 41-31. And then
okay.
21-22, they went 37-45. And then his last year, they went 47-35. So
Mm.
2 winning seasons out of 6 there. So not the best,
And
not the best record.
he was the main GM from 2017 to 2020, and then Leon Rose came in 2020, like at the end of that stint, right?
Right. Yeah. Leon Rose took over, and Leon Rose, who's the current GM now. But I will say with the Knicks, that is, we've mentioned this before, like James Dolan. He also had that sort of rep of meddling, and Knicks fans wanted him out. So I would say that sort of similar situation probably um helps. I think his case. I mean, if you're a Kings fan and you want to look optimistically, I think you could look at that situation. Maybe Scott Perry can come in and not be a puppet to Vivek, and maybe he can actually change the way, the way that he's been meddling and just been getting involved heavily in personnel decisions. But then again, Leon Rose was also a big factor of that too, as well. So how much of it was Leon Rose and how much of it was really Scott Perry is a question. So yeah, I mean, not the best record as Knicks GM, and he also had some very questionable moves. Like obviously the big ones trading Porzingis, but I mean we'll get to those.
Yeah, no, for sure. Props, just checking in the channel. Appreciate everyone coming out on a Thursday night, talking a little Scott Perry, and Let's see. PK, appreciate the love. Appreciate the love right there. Speculation on the Perry contract. We never found out about Monty McNair's contract, so I'm not sure. I honestly couldn't tell you. I don't want to give false information. I don't want to look
I'll
like I
tell you, it
know.
was wrapped up a few weeks ago. That's for sure. Maybe even a couple months ago. So I mean, these contracts don't just happen overnight. So clearly, the writing was on the wall for Monty, and I mean, you could tell by like everyone leaving, all the execs, his assistant Wes Wilcox just leaving. So they kind of knew already. I mean, I don't know. Like looking back at it, I feel like maybe Monty didn't even trade for Levine at all, and maybe we were kind of too harsh on him, just blaming him for the De'Aaron Fox return. So maybe that was all Vivek at the end of the day. I'm
Yep,
starting to lean. I'm
for
starting
sure,
to
for
think it was
sure it
just
was.
all Vivek that actually made that deal. I mean, because
Yeah,
if Monty was pretty much on the way out, I don't think Vivek is going to give him any say in that trade. So yeah, I don't know. I'm not sure why Monty ended up sticking around the past couple of months. So that was interesting, but
to do the
yeah,
trade. Yeah,
I'll say that. I'll say maybe looking back at it, maybe we're a little too harsh on Monty if he
yeah.
assumingly, and he did say, I mean, more stuff will come out. More stuff will come out, I'm sure, in the next month or two
Yeah,
that
it
really
loo- it looks like it wasn't him. And Vivek just said, "Hey, like I'm gonna keep you for the rest of this year, but I'm gonna do what I want." That's looking like what had happened.
exactly.
Matthew, for real, this channel, we appreciate you, man. Appreciate the love. Appreciate you coming out. Hopefully we grow it and get
Appreciate it,
thousand
Matthew.
viewers on a Thursday night.
One at a time.
Um, PK, appreciate that. And Cody with a good memory here. Yes, sir. I had a bet. I did it in January when Christie kind of first came in after a couple weeks. I was very high on him, and I said that Doug Christie will be the coach next season. Even Rhino was the one that brought up the bet. He was the one that said, "Would you do that bet?" And I'm like, you know what? I'm feeling it. Let's do it. So I said, let's have it. And I felt good about it for a month or two. Then the Kings started losing, and then I'm like, damn, this isn't gonna happen. Playing happened, and I felt like, yeah, Christie's gone actually. But then with this Scott Perry hiring, and just immediately, I'm thinking Doug Christie's got a shot here. So I think that, man, I think Christie might be the coach again. I think there's better options out there. I think Christie deserved a better chance, but I think he did some good things. I think he did some bad things. I do think there's probably better options out there. I mean, you can get like a Sam Cassell or, man, even like Bobby Jackson probably has more experience at this point. And I just think, I mean, you posed a good question. Who needs a bigger change from one? Do the Kings need to leave Doug Christie more, or does Doug Christie need to leave the Kings more?
Yeah.
It's a good question to have, but yeah, we
No,
did
I
have a
mean,
bet.
I think the tides changed the past 24 hours. I mean, yesterday we got on here and we thought Doug Christie was pretty much gone, but it's
Hmm.
sounding like right now, like it looks like they're leaning towards giving him a multi-year extension and just keeping him around. I mean,
Yeah,
maybe that's what Vivek wanted. Maybe he wanted Doug Christie to stay, and maybe he just ran it past. Maybe that's another reason he hired Scott Perry. So this might have been in the works for a few months now,
hmm,
in terms of Doug Christie saying. So we don't even know how much these recent results, if they even had any impact at all. So yeah, I mean that bet's gonna come down to the wire. So
yeah.
it's a close bet, man.
Yeah, it was a close bet. Let's just get straight into it. So, July 14th, Perry gets traded to the Knicks. They signed some people. They get like Ron Baker, Damian Dotson, Michael Beasley, Ramon Sessions, Nigel Hayes, Xavier Wraithen Mays, Jamal Artis, and Jarrett Jack. But let's get to the big ones. We'll just talk big ones. First big one
Yeah,
in September 2017, 2 months after Mr. Perry is in. Um, Carmelo Anthony gets traded to the Oklahoma City Thunder for Enes Kanter, Doug McDermott, and a 2018 second round pick. But that 2018 second round pick, man, who was it, my man?
Mitchell Robinson,
Got it.
current still gets a lot of minutes, still a pivotal part of that front court for the New York Knicks. So that was a good pick. And yeah, just kudos to that for him for that trade. That was not a bad trade. I mean, people forget, but in his Cantor too, he had his moments in the league where
Yep.
he was a very good rebounder.
Oh yeah.
Before eventually the style of play and the game just sort of passed him up. But yeah, at that point, I think Carmelo Anthony wasn't official like washed, but yeah, he was at the tail end of his career.
Yeah.
So getting
End
that
of his
return
prime.
for him and hitting on that pick was huge.
Yeah, that wasn't a bad. I mean, it wasn't terrible. Enos Kanter was getting like 14 and 11 during that around that time. So
Yeah,
not nothing. Enos Freedom, I should say.
all right, his
Uh,
freedom. Yeah,
and get actually not a lot of blocks, not a lot of steals, but yeah, he was a big rebounder and got a lot of points. But um, yeah, so I mean that was a big trade. Doug McDermott actually was. I mean that was like his prime too. If we're looking at his stats in New York, he was actually no, he was still just getting 7-8 points a game and nothing crazy. So yeah, it was okay. It was okay. Um, they got Isaiah Hicks, Trey Burke. In February, this is around the trade deadline. They did a couple trades. Willie Hernan Gomez to Charlotte for Johnny O'Brien, 2020 second round pick, and a 2021 second round pick. Um, I thought that's good value probably for Willie Hernan
yeah, it's pretty good
Gomez.
considering Saban Lee and I think Isaiah Livers actually they had some good rotation minutes in the league. I mean that trade we can pretty much gloss over. I don't think it
Yeah.
was anything to really analyze.
Then we got a 3-team trade. This one's going to be a little bit hard to say, but basically, they traded a 2018 second round pick. They traded Doug McDermott, and they got back Emmanuel Mudiay, who was sort of a bust.
Yeah,
But
that
they
was
probably just it was just like, hey, let's just see what he does, kind of thing.
for
And
sure.
in 2019, he actually did okay. I mean, he played 50, 60 games almost and averaged 15, 3, and 4. I'd say that's 45% shooting, bad 3-point percentage, but I mean, it was a flyer, and you only had to trade what a second round pick and Doug McDermott. I mean, I think that's
Yeah.
fair. That's pretty good.
Yeah, yeah. No, I mean that's not a disastrous trade by any means. Got rid of Doug McDermott after just trading him for him the year before.
Yeah,
But yeah, and then acquiring Emmanuel Moody, who obviously Emmanuel Moody, I believe he was a top 10 pick, right?
yeah,
So yeah, I mean he's just taking a flyer there. But yeah, not the worst trade. Not really. Just sort of just like a yeah,
yeah.
not
Basically, fours. That is correct. I think he left the Knicks around 2023, helping out Leon Rose, and yeah, it could be his last hurrah. Maybe work for a couple years. I know that's kind of what people are thinking.
Yeah, you did
But we'll
mention
see.
Joe Dumars, who just got hired to be the GM for the New Orleans Pelicans. So I think Joe Dumars was targeting Scott Perry to come in and help, but I think Scott Perry was enticed by the GM role and yeah, just being a GM himself. So I think that's essentially why he chose Sacramento.
Yeah, yeah, that's true. Looks like they fired Jeff Hornacek as the head coach. They hired David Fizdale, which pretty good coach.
Yeah,
Um,
David Fizdale was a good coach at that time.
yeah, he for Memphis he was 43 and 39 in his first year in 2017. Then 2018 he got fired. Had a bad start, 7 and 12. Didn't do great with the Knicks, uh, but I don't think their team had a lot of talent. I
Yeah, the
don't think
team was not the best at that time.
their best players were Mario Hazonia, who never did anything, Enos Freedom. Uh, I know Matthews was saying Ron Baker. They
Yeah,
had
this was when the Knicks were really almost like spiraling out of rock
yeah
bottom, and then
Moutier,
oh, they get that
Robinson.
top pick where I think the top 4 pick where they picked Porzingis.
Yeah.
This was right before.
So then in 2018, they select with the ninth pick in the 2018 draft. I'm surprised they didn't get a great pick. Yeah, they I guess it was they traded they they were still okay. They had some okay pieces, but yeah.
Yeah,
Anyway, they got Kevin Knox with the ninth pick, and then they picked Mitchell Robinson. So
Yeah,
Um,
Kevin Knox was a big bust.
big bust.
Still in the league actually. I think he's on the Warriors or the
Let's look
Warriors
at
G League
the.
team.
I'm gonna take a look at the 2018 draft and see who could have been there. Oh
Oh
my
yeah,
goodness.
yeah. Let's see.
Michael Bridges right after, and Shea Gildress right after, and Miles Bridges right after. That's
Oh
ugly.
yikes.
That's
That's
ugly.
ugly. Yeah, Mikal Bridges, Shea SGA, and Miles Bridges, the 3 picks right after Kevin Knox. Yikes. So hey, it's a good thing he probably won't have a pick to use this year anyway. So
Yeah, he'll be safe from that.
he has
Um,
some time.
man, that's literally the next players. Man, Michael Bridges, Shea Gildress, Miles Bridges. And Michael Porter Jr. after that. So, oh my God, that's
Man,
ugly. That's
yikes.
ugly stuff.
Hey,
Um,
that was his first couple of years there. Second year there, I think. So maybe we'll give him some slack, cut him some slack.
All right, so yeah, they signed Mario Zoni as a free agent. Nothing too crazy. They signed Noah Vonleh, Kadeem Allen. Okay, whatever. Then we get to January 2019. They trade Trey Burke. I think he was a top 10 player in the draft. Tim Hardaway Jr., Courtney Lee, and Kristaps. This was the big trade where you want to get rid of the Kristaps.
Yeah.
He was a little bit disgruntled there to Dallas for DeAndre Jordan, Wesley Matthews, and Dennis Smith Jr. and a 2021 first round draft pick, and a 24 first round draft pick. So that's pretty. So they
Wow.
pretty much got 2 firsts. Dennis Smith Jr., who was pretty. I mean, I think he was in the 2017 draft. He was around the 6th or 7th pick, I think, after Fox. And so it's almost like 3 first round picks for Porzingis. I think that's, yeah, I think that's fine value. Honestly, I think they did fine in that trade. What do you think?
I think
And they got rid
the
of Trey Burke
picks
and
were
yeah.
fine, 3 first round picks, but I think the players that they got were I think the return on the players was pretty bad.
Hmm.
So the players that they got back were, like you said, DeAndre Jordan, Wesley Matthews, and Dennis Smith Jr. So I think the picks, which the 2021 first round pick ended up being Keon Johnson, who was actually had a breakout season this year with the Brooklyn Nets, got a lot of minutes, and a 2024 or well, it was a 2023 top 10 protected first round pick, which didn't convey in 2023, so it turned into a 2024 first round pick, and that was actually Keyshawn George. So that was just last year. So yeah, I mean this trade was still seeing returns. Saw big returns this season, but yeah, I don't like the fact that they got DeAndre Jordan, Wesley Matthews, and Dennis Smith Jr. And they also traded away Trey Burke and Tim Hardaway Jr. Courtney Lee was really good.
Hmm.
Obviously it was more before 2019, but Tim Hardaway Jr. still,
Yeah,
I mean, he's still contributing right now for Detroit and a
yeah,
playoff team. And but yeah, the big piece here is Kristaps. I think looking back at this deal, I think that they I mean it's hard because I think his value at the time wasn't as high as it is obviously now. So I mean, yeah. So I think oh man, it's hard. It's hard. I want to say that he could have got more, but we have to remember like Kristaps was very, very injury prone. He was
yeah,
missing a lot of time. So I think I also don't want to be too harsh on the deal. Because his value obviously isn't the same as it is now, and where he's turned into this sort of perfect 3-and-D sort of forward that could just guard 1 through 5. So and the champion now with Boston. So yeah, in hindsight, I don't like the deal, but that's because it's hindsight. I think at the time, it's not a bad return, especially the 3 first round picks. That's the best part of the deal. Well, it ended up being 3.
yeah. But you made a good point. That you made a good point that Tim Hardaway has been very good with Dallas, especially as well too. So he had some good
Yeah,
years, and he's still playing well. So yeah, it's like a mid. It wasn't terrible, it wasn't great, but it was fine.
yeah. I'd probably give
Um,
it like a C plus B minus. About to
yeah,
grade that deal.
yeah, I think that's fair. I'd probably give it around B minus B. Um, All right, so then a couple of no names. I mean, for calls today, I mean, we'll do calls at the very end. I'll post a link right now. Maybe we'll take some calls, just a couple calls at the end. So I know you guys love the calls. We'll do it, and not a super long pod today. Just kind of going over the deep dive on Scott Perry. Appreciate Cody appreciating that as well. So all right, so we got here RJ Barrett with the third pick in June 2019, and Kyle Guy as well. So what do you think about RJ Barrett, and could they have done better in the 2019 draft?
I did not like RJ Barrett's pick. I didn't like it at the time. I think it just turned out to be a complete bust. I mean, this is a pick that they sort of had to hit on. Obviously, this was the Ja and Zion draft. So, I mean, I remember Knicks fans being disappointed that they just missed out on one of those two. But yeah, I mean, looking at the draft, the players that went right after,
They're all not that good.
not that good. Yeah, besides Darius Garland and DeAndre Hunter, who went. I mean,
Yeah,
even DeAndre Hunter is like whatever. He's not. He's just a six man. So
yeah.
yeah, this draft, to be honest, I think the best player after in the lottery was probably Tyler Hero, who went 13 to Miami.
Yeah.
I mean, and that was a good pick. I remember at the time too. That was a pick by Miami that was praised. So I mean, yeah, I didn't like the RJ Barrett pick, but looking
back, it looks okay. I think. I mean, it looks pretty good. I mean,
yeah,
from Duke
honestly,
too. It's a big
yeah, from
college.
Duke. Yeah.
You almost have to
Yeah.
do. You almost had to.
I think RJ Barrett was like consensus third pick. I don't think it was
Yeah.
really, I don't even think anyone was honestly in the running besides him.
Yeah.
But I mean, yeah, I honestly like looking back at it, like this is a pretty bad lottery. I mean, Cam Johnson was probably one of the better players. Cam
Yeah, it's
Reddish
just a lot of
from
good.
Duke,
It's just a lot of good role players. You got
a lot
Hunter,
of good
Kobe
role players.
White,
Yeah.
Rui Hachimura, Cameron Johnson, PJ Washington, Hero. Nothing stood out.
Yeah, I think the best pick from 3 to 13 was probably Darius Garland, who went to Cleveland fifth. But I don't think anyone expected Darius Garland to turn out into the multi-time all-star that he became. So yeah, I mean, I do want to I'm giving a little slack for this pick, but there also wasn't much that he could have.
It was
Obviously,
kind
in
of easy. Yeah.
hindsight, Darius Garland, Kobe White, these guys would have been better picks. PJ Washington, Tyler Hero. So yeah, I mean, yeah, it is what it is. He just went with the consensus pick.
Yeah. All right. So we're 2019. We're almost there, guys. We're about 7 months away until his tenure's done. So signed some free agents. A free agent that's pretty big. He's got Taj Gibson, Bobby Portis, Wayne Ellington, Alfred Payton, but they signed a guy named Julius Randle, and that turned out to be a pretty good move by them after he left from the Lakers from 2014, where he did not pan out. They took that was a pretty good one. I think, or he got traded to the Pelicans, I believe. From Lakers to Pelicans, right?
He did, yeah. He got traded as a part of I believe it was a part of the Anthony Davis deal. And then they decided not to re-sign him New Orleans, so he signed as a free agent with New York. And yeah, I mean, he had some I've never been a Julius Randle believer. I never liked his game, to be honest. But hey, when he went to New York, he was putting up big numbers.
Yeah.
They weren't winning the first couple of seasons, but his number, it wasn't because of him. I mean, he wasn't surrounded with the best roster. So you got to give him credit there for for buying low on a lottery pick like Julius at the time.
3 for $63 million was the
Deal.
contract.
Oh wow, that's a great value contract for what they got out of him.
So yeah, that was pretty good. And they got just like, Bobby Portis, Taj Gibson. I mean, some good culture guys, and that actually contributed. So I don't have any problem with any of those players that he got. I think that was a good free agent.
Yeah, 2019. I mean, clearly they had a lot of cap space. So Bobby Portis, Taj Gibson, Wayne Ellington, Alfred Payton. Yeah, no, that's not a bad free agency. I mean, New York is always in the is that the year that Kevin Durant went to Is that the year Kevin Durant went to Brooklyn? It might be, but
Yeah.
I know there was always a Kevin Durant to New York, but
Huh.
I think
Never happened.
Kevin Durant regrets not going to the Knicks.
I
Yeah,
think so.
so
Yeah.
signing trade deal on July 7th, 2019, where the Brooklyn Nets got KD from the Warriors. So that's that same summer. So I think that they had the cap space. I think KD just preferred to go to Brooklyn because if we remember, like the Knicks at that time just had a very bad rep. James Dolan, of course, was the key around that. So, I mean, in hindsight, I think KD would have loved to go to New York. Just looking at how his tenure at Brooklyn turned out. Well, Kyrie too, all two or both of them because they paired up. So, but yeah, I mean, he did what he could with his cap space that year, I think.
Yeah, he did. I mean, he did good to try to get expirings and all that to set him up for that. So I'll give him some props there. And got Ivan Rabb to a two-way, and then didn't really do much. And December 2019 fired Fizdale right before COVID hit a few months later. So that was pretty much the end of his tenure. So I mean,
Oh yeah. So the Lakers didn't. That's right. I knew they didn't include Randall in the deal, so they just
yeah,
let him. Yeah, they let him go to shout out Cody for this. They let him go
yeah,
to New Orleans signed him from LA because they renounced his rights, and then he was signed by the Knicks. So good looks on
yeah,
that, Cody.
yeah. So I mean, what do you think from everything we looked like? I'd probably give. I mean, look, the process wasn't good, but just if we're just talking about this GM just by itself, like that's the only thing we're given a grade. Like, would you give him around like a B minus ish, like B minus,
B
B or
minus
C
sounds
plus?
right. I would give
Yeah,
him a B minus, C plus.
yeah.
I might even give him a B just because he had some. I
It was a
mean,
bad Knicks. Yeah,
the Knicks were
Knicks
really
were
in
in a bad
turmoil. Like this
situation.
was a
Yeah,
franchise like I mean, just as bad as the Kings are now, probably worse when you
yeah,
think about it. I think the
yeah,
Knicks were that bad like during that time frame.
yeah,
So I would give him his Knicks tenure. Yeah, probably like a B
yeah.
minus. And then he did stay on board, right, for 3 years while Leon Rose came in 2020.
Yes,
So he
good
was
point.
still on board. I do think that like the Brunson acquisition was more
Oh
Leon
yeah,
Rose because Leon Rose had the connection to his agent
Gent, yeah,
being his agent and that connection with Rick Brunson. So I think that bringing in Jalen Brunson, I think that's pretty much just all Leon Rose. I wouldn't give too much credit
no,
to Scott Perry there, if anything. And that's really what turned around the Knicks, to be honest. I think is Leon Rose. So yeah, in terms of like from 2017 through 2020, I would give him a B minus. B minus sounds right. I'll settle on that.
yeah, yeah. I'd probably do B minus B for me. And just to before we get to PK here, Tristan, probably an F. That guy just did everything bad.
Yeah,
Like
that's a F.
that's an F. Just not picking Doncic and also like doing some horrible trades, trading like pick swaps, and we did some. He did that trade for releasing the salaries for like Jason Thompson and Bellinelli and gave away first round picks. He was all over bad. So, all right, let's get to PK here. See if I can figure this out. PK, are you on?
I got it.
Boys.
All right, we can hear you now. How you doing, PK?
What's going on? Okay.
Boys, tighten up. Tighten up the situation over here. You guys got a great channel. You have an awesome thing going. On the business side, guys, tighten up. Don't be gay. Okay? Don't be gay.
What you mean? What's your advice? What you got for us?
Yeah, you just
Tighten up your freaking, like, if I'm on a call, I'm the only caller on your channel, right?
Yeah.
I'm the only caller on your channel, and I'm waiting freaking what, like
yeah, but I said we'd do it at the
5
end.
minutes?
I gave a heads up. We'll do it at the end after the quick recap of them.
No. But you're keeping me on hold.
What do you want me to do? Give you
Does
cookies at the same
Does Grant
time?
ever keep you on hold? Or no?
I'm telling you, get your shit together.
Yeah,
Get
we're
your
Next
shit
time,
trying,
together.
man.
Hey,
next time we'll send you some trophies.
no, honestly, you guys are doing a really good job. Keep
Appreciate
doing
it.
what you're doing.
Appreciate it, PK.
Everything that you guys have done, I think you both are really good for for fans, for people. You have something that people want to hear, and keep doing what you're doing nonstop. And like everyone's gonna eventually, someone's gonna like listen to you. Eventually, you guys gonna have like a PK who's gonna be over there like freaking yelling at you, like Nat right now, being
Yeah.
like. But you guys are doing a really good job. Really good job. You're trying to figure things out. I can tell. It's okay. But but like, pick up the fucking phone for Christ's
Jeez.
sake.
And we're still
What,
new
what-
to
what's
the
what,
collar
what's your
thing. We're still
what,
new to the collar thing.
what's your basketball? You got some basketball talk?
You want basketball talk?
Yeah, I thought you called
Yeah,
in
what do you think
for some
about the new
basketball.
GM hire? Any
Well, you
thoughts?
guys tell me. You guys tell me. What do you want to talk about?
Uh,
You're
Scott
the
Perry,
caller,
new
man.
GM.
It's
Any thoughts?
Yeah.
Or
Well,
like Doug
hey, you guys
Christie?
are the hosts. Well, you talk. What do you want to talk about?
well, I mean, we're talking Scott Perry. So new GM, Doug Christie, is he staying or is he not?
Yeah.
That's the
Um.
that's the topics.
Okay. So, I think for me personally, I think what I heard from the players was
Yeah,
pretty cool. Pretty cool. Like just hearing people saying that they want to stay here, like players saying that they want to stay here. That's pretty cool, right?
Yeah, no, that's
yeah,
true.
Right. Like, like Sabonis saying that he wants to stay in Sacramento. That's pretty cool
that's true.
because we don't really have much here to play with. This is like in this game where the margins are so short, we
Mhm.
need people that want to be here, right?
That was your question yesterday, wasn't it? Who wants to be here? Who wants to be here? And you got the answer
Right,
today.
right. I mean, ultimately, because I was last night when I was talking to you, dude, I was like, maybe nobody wants to be here. Like, what if nobody wants to be here? you know? But ultimately, I'm very impressed that there's guys that want to be here. I say, like, get rid of DeRozan, get Young,
Yeah,
um, and go from there. Maybe.
All
yeah.
right,
No,
I
that's a good
appreciate
point. I mean, you can't
You
blame you
can't blame me
for,
for
especially with the way
especially with
that
the
they
way that they
played.
Hey, you guys doing a great job. Hey, love you guys.
All right,
appreciate it, PK.
appreciate it, PK.
Take
Always,
care.
always welcome on. Have a good one. But yeah, no, that's I mean, with the way that they played yesterday, you can't blame them for thinking that no one wanted to be here. But I mean, if you guys watch the DeMar DeRozan interview, he definitely looks like he's pretty much done in
Yeah, he's
Sacramento.
calling
And I
his
mean, you
agent right
can't
now.
blame him. He
Yeah,
said it himself. He's going on year 17, and he gave it. I mean, it wasn't for lack of effort. So yeah, I think DeMar is pretty much gone. I was surprised with Sabonis saying that he wants to be involved in the decision making. I mean, after just putting up a dud in the play-in, I'm like, come on, man. Like, you just put up that dud in the play-in, and now you're asking for like to be more involved in decisions. I don't know, man. I'm getting even more sour on Sabonis. I was at least willing to listen to Kings fan this season, but after watching him play, honestly, maybe the haters are right. He's just an empty calorie stats guy, just grabbing rebounds. But when you need him most, you can't build an offense around him. I mean, he can't be your franchise player. So just honestly, if I'm Sacramento, I mean, if I'm Scott Perry, if he really wants to show me something in his first couple months, you just ship him off. You see what you could get for Sabonis.
yeah. I mean, we've said it before on this pod. We said blow it up, blow it up. So I still stick to it. We gave him a third straight shot at him trying to do something in the postseason, and he didn't do anything. Let's just get to some quick comments here. Appreciate the love, Flores. Appreciate the love from PK. Great stuff. Cody bringing up Malik Monk. That doesn't want to play point guard. That's true. I mean, yeah. I mean, Sabonis wants a point guard. Everyone wants a point guard to kind of let him eat and stuff. Yeah. I mean, whoever the point guard is going to have more time to like set people up a little bit because DeMar is just taking the ball and takes 10 seconds to set up, do a fadeaway, and do all the stuff. But
I mean,
now at least,
Malik Monk is not a point guard.
yeah,
I mean, everyone in the league can tell you that. Like,
yeah,
if
he's
you
not a
have
main
Malik
point
Monk
guard.
running your offense, that's not a good sign.
He can play make. I think he has a good pick and roll game with people, but it's not like his main thing is to set people up and try to like do the whole
Yeah,
point
but for
guard.
like a full game, getting
Yeah,
30
yeah.
plus minutes, you don't want Malik Monk to
No.
facilitate and run your offense. Especially, I mean, Doug Christie, to be honest, kind of runs a vanilla offense. So,
Yeah.
I mean, and it looks like he's going to be sticking around. So, I mean, if you want, but I'm just saying, in case you bring in a new coach that runs a more complex offense, you need I think, a higher IQ point guard. So I don't blame him. He's not a point guard. He never has been.
Yeah, thoughts about Malik laughing on the bench. I know, like, people will say that's like his that's how he acts. That's his MO. He's just like a chill, fun guy and stuff. But I didn't like it. I personally didn't like it. I thought that you shouldn't be doing that at all. I think everyone should just be shook. You got boo birds coming out from the audience. I thought that was embarrassing. I mean, that was one of the most embarrassing games I've ever seen the Kings play in a big game. There's not a lot of big games we've played, but that was an embarrassment. You cannot be losing by 25-ish for most of the game, and then you're just laughing with, like, Jake LaRavia, man. Like, I get it, you sat out, and you're trying to, like, just be happy because it's the second year in a row where you got hurt going into the postseason, but I don't care, man. You cannot be happy seeing your team lose like that. I didn't like it. I mean, I still love Malik and, like, I want him to stay and all that good stuff, but that shouldn't have happened.
What if LaRavia said a funny joke, though, man? He just couldn't help himself.
LaRavia,
yeah, I don't know.
should be
To
making
me, I
jokes,
mean,
man.
I'm not a Kings fan, so I honestly, like, I don't think my opinion even matters in this situation. But I mean, it didn't. Yeah, I could see why. I could see both sides, to be honest, where it's like, you don't want to see that from one of your key players. I mean, he's not playing, but I mean, he was like hysterically laughing, like he just heard the funniest thing in the world, while the Kings are just over here getting 3 after 3 splashed on them. So, but then again, I mean, the game was over. He wasn't participating. It didn't had zero effect of what was happening on the court. So I see both sides. I definitely defer to the Kings fans on that. That's more of a fans only type of response you look for.
Yeah. All right. 2 questions before we leave to each other here. Appreciate everyone out. If you guys can like this pod on YouTube, we're on Apple, we're on Spotify. Subscribe if you haven't. I know we got all the OGs here, so appreciate you guys. Last 2 questions. Is Doug Christie the coach next season? And if he is, are they doing a full coach search, or will they just be picking him and saying you're good enough and that's it?
I think if Doug Christie is a coach, I think that this is a bad sign for the Sacramento Kings, because I think that essentially this hire of Scott Perry is a just Vivek hiring another puppet to run the organization, and the first sign of that is going to be keeping Doug Christie on. Vivek probably wanted to keep Doug Christie on, so he brought in Scott Perry. He ran it by him. He said, "You know what? You want to be GM? This is what's going to happen. This is going to be our coach." So I mean, I don't know the relationship between Scott Perry and Doug Christie, but if I'm coming in as a GM, I'd at least want to, have the conversation as a new GM about who the coach would be. So I think that if he does stay on, Doug Christie, it is not a good sign, and I honestly wouldn't be surprised if halfway through next season he gets fired. If things really start to go south. But then again, they might just rebuild, so they might give him a longer leash. But right now, with the recent events of the past, 24 hours, I would lean that Doug Christie is the Sacramento Kings coach, and that he will sign a multi-year extension within the next couple of days here.
Yeah, I think he will be the head coach, and I'll be winning that bet with Rhino, which feels pretty good, and which was a Bennett's dinner, and then I can will they be doing a full coach search? Man, the way they did the front office doesn't look like it, right? So I think they're just gonna give it a Doug. I don't know when, but I think they will, and which kind of worries me a little bit because that means maybe Christie likes Sabonis, and maybe they keep him and Levine and try to run it back. But we'll see. We'll see what happens there.
Well,
That's
not just that. Also, I think like if he's really a cheap owner, he's gonna bring him back on a cheap deal. Doug Christie probably isn't. He's gonna bank on Doug Christie wanting to stay in Sacramento and wanting to be the coach. So he's not gonna
yeah.
cost a lot of money, and they're still paying, like you said, Mike Brown,
Hmm.
and whose extension hasn't even kicked in yet, who just signed a deal. So I think that the money part of it is another reason that Doug Christie will remain the coach.
Yeah. That's on that. I think we got to leave it on that note. But I appreciate everyone being here. If everyone wants to like, subscribe, do all that fun stuff, write a review if you like, if you have a minute. Appreciate all you guys coming in, and we'll leave it on some positivity. I think Scott Perry's decent. We gave him a B, around a B grade.
Oh yeah, what do you think? You didn't really say your thoughts about the Scott Perry hire.
Yeah, I think I'll give it a B just based on him and what he did for the Knicks. So he is well respected. He does have a lot of connections. So I think
Are you
there is some
optimistic about the
positivity.
hire?
Yeah, I'm optimistic. I think he'll be okay. So at least on
Yeah.
that part, I don't like the process, obviously, but
Did you see what he said about
yeah,
Zach Levine?
yeah, he doesn't like Zach Levine, so at least he likes
Yeah, so
defense.
he doesn't like Zach Levine. So
Yeah,
yeah, that's a good sign right there. So
yeah,
I mean, I think you like the hire much more than me. I'm not optimistic about this hire at all. I think it's just another Vivek
yeah,
puppet coming into the organization.
yeah,
Just with the way that the whole process was handled, not even having GM interviews, not even having a search, is
yeah.
absolutely ridiculous. I mean, it's just not the way you run a franchise. So I mean, in my perspective, this might just get uglier even quicker. So we'll see next season.
I was trying to leave on some positivity, but we'll
I'm
go
sorry,
end it
man.
on
I'm a
that.
realist. I'm a realist. Positive or negative, I'm just gonna tell you how I see it.
No, it is true. Like I think he's good, but we don't know how hands on Vivek will be. But it does look like he will be hands on, and that doesn't bode well. But maybe the one thing is Vivek does give the GM like the first like year or two like his run. So at least we'll have 1 or 2 years without meddling. I think so. But
That's true. That is
uh,
true.
but on that note, we'll let everyone go and appreciate everyone for being here. So this NBA Guru Show will be back on. I think we might be back on tomorrow for the playing game. So
Yeah,
uh,
some just our picks and stuff.
yeah, so we'll talk some playoffs.